right, good morning. This lovely Sunday morning, Coast to Coast Network brings you Morning Tailgate, the draft recap. Tonight, I'm just joined right now with my man, Mr. Tim Hendricks. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Excited after seeing those 3 days of the draft.
Yeah, I remember, back in the day, we're growing up, and the draft was all in one day, man. I don't know how we stayed up for all those picks. But anyways, so we saw some falling, we saw some teams reaching, we saw some teams wheeling and dealing, styling and profiling, like Ric Flair always said. So overall, Tim, before we get into it, we'll probably just cover mainly the first round. I mean, we could throw in some later picks, but what did you think of? Well, let's just start with the spectacle of the draft at first. I mean, what do you think of how they're doing the draft now, making it a big time event?
I think if the NFL is good at one thing, it's knowing how to promote itself and doing everything that they do is a big spectacle. It's to them, it's how the Super Bowl is the end of the season. This is the NFL's version of NASCAR at this point in the Daytona 500. Best way to kick off the new season is by doing something like this, and I thought it was huge. I think it was big.
Yeah, no doubt. I just think it gets better every heck. You pay enough money, you can even get married on it. I saw somebody, I think it was either day 2 or day 3, got married. I mean, how about that?
Yeah, I saw that too.
NFL draft. I mean, your wife would have to be one heck of a sports fan to let you do that. So
that are very, very, very forgiving.
Yeah, or else you owe her a lot. One of the two.
Exactly.
So anyway, let's get into it. A lot of people are Jacksonville first pick was Walker. So what do you think of that first pick there to start it off?
I thought on the night I picked Trayvon Walker, but up until like the week before, I had Hutchinson. I thought he was a solid deal, and then you start hearing rumors around on TV, radio, podcasts that all of a sudden they weren't looking at just one player; they were looking at 4, and then everything just changed. And I thought it was going to be Hutchinson or Trayvon, and then the day before, I just thought Trayvon. Too many signs were pointing toward Trayvon, and I think Walker's a good pick. I think it's a really good pick. It's not really that big of a reach. I think in the long run. I hope he doesn't start right away, so that gives Indy a chance to really attack that defense. But other than that, I think it's a really good pick. It's a safe pick.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tim, and we've talked about it before, and a lot of people said there was not one clear-cut number one. And for probably about a month or so, it was Hutchinson. And then all of a sudden, Willis started popping up. And then Thibodeau popped up. And there was a safety that popped up. And then Walker popped up. And it's just like, okay, what's Jacksonville going to do? And, Jacksonville was probably fielding phone calls for a while there. And I think if I was them, I really think that Jacksonville knew Detroit wanted Hutchinson, so they're kind of waiting to see maybe if they can try to force the Lions to make a trade with them to move up so they get more assets, which I would have done too. I think,
me too.
Because once Walker's name was named, I mean, I think it was like less than 30 seconds. Detroit had their card turned in already. So
it was unbelievably quick. It was almost like they had 2 cards in their hands, and one was Trayvon Walker and one was Aidan Hutchinson. And the moment they heard it, they threw the Trayvon Walker card up, and the runner was already flying. At that point, it just seemed like it was academic.
Yeah, no doubt, it definitely was. So got a couple of guys chiming in here. Conman Michael, what's up, Big B? Hey, good to see you. Then Mike Swan, must be a fellow Colts fan with you there, Tim, because he's saying go Colts. So
He's a Lions fan, big time Lions
Oh,
fan. So, but he lives in Indianapolis, and
okay.
he's
All
now
right.
a
So
season
let's
ticket
put the Lions.
holder.
So okay. So let's get with those Lions, and they probably got the guy they wanted all along, the homeboy kid, Hutchinson. So what do you think about that play?
I think it's not only is it the smart move, it's the right move. You got a kid who knows Michigan. He knows the fan base in Michigan. More than likely, if I'm not mistaken, grew up a Lions fan. He knows what it's like to bleed for the state of Michigan, and he's going to do it on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays now.
And Wednesdays and Tuesdays if you decide to play on those days too. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, they got a guy that market now, hometown kid. I definitely thought that was a great pick. And like I said, I don't recall a pick going in any faster after the pick before them
No,
was named.
I've never seen something like that. That was one of the quickest, if not the quickest, I've ever seen.
Because I think if you were watching our live stream, and I think J Mac was like, "Oh, the pick is in, Trayvon Walker. Whoa, the Lions pick is in." I mean, it was just
Well,
like that.
the funny thing is
You
with the
said they
way the
had two
live
cards, and they knew who they were taking.
with the live
So,
stream that you
all
guys
right,
had, I was with the live stream, I was 13 seconds ahead of the live stream, so I know what was going on before anybody on the live stream did. So I thought it was
well,
really
yeah,
weird. And it was
yeah,
quick.
oh yeah, it was just amazing. I just couldn't believe it. So, then the third pick, if I recall, was I had
Third pick
a
is
second.
I just had it
Was
up.
it that Stein or Stinger? Or,
Derek Stingley
yeah.
from LSU. Where did he? I think so.
So that was a
No,
kind of a
was
shock
it? Yeah,
shock
yeah,
to some
yeah. It
people.
was Stingley.
Yeah,
It was Stingley
yeah.
to
Derek Stingley.
Houston.
Yep. So that kind of was a shock there. Um, Houston needed a lot of help. Another team that could have moved out and probably got some assets for them. And then the Jets behind them took another corner. Gardner, another guy that was projected to go one or two, or could have. Then we had Thibodeau, defensive end, going to the Giants. And that was a string of 5 defensive players going in the first 5 picks. So we knew this was going to be a kind of a different kind of draft. And then after that, we had, I believe it was, my phone's acting up here. I believe we had 7 of the next picks all going offense. One,
Yeah,
two, three, yeah. Yeah, and 4 receivers and 5 picks. So,
yeah.
um, what did you think of the first? Overall, what did you think of the first day of the draft?
The first day of the draft, I thought I haven't seen a more fun draft. That was the what was it? What did it end up being? 9, 10 trades. Um, what not? Was not a quarterback? Was there? Yeah, there was one quarterback,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
there was
usually
one quarterback taken, which we'll get
no
to.
running backs.
No running backs.
It's proving to the fact that it definitely showed that it was a quarterback weak class, but it was a wide receiver and defensive line heavy draft, and it showed in the first round.
Yeah, it was big guys and wide receiver kind of draft. I mean,
Yeah,
you had 4 receivers taken in 5 picks. Let me see, 6, 7. It looks like 7 receivers. A lot of big guys taken. I mean, so let's
yeah.
talk about the quarterback. I mean, Pickett goes home, stays home, and is going to quarterback Pittsburgh. So, is he going to get the keys right away, or are they going to go with um
I
shoot? I can't think of who they signed. I'm sorry,
the Trubisky.
yeah, Trubisky. Yeah,
I, I know
So
Steeler
what do you
fans are
think?
probably not going to like me saying this, but I don't think Pickett starts right away. I think Pickett if Trubisky doesn't play well enough, I think Pickett will be starting by week 6.
Yeah.
But I don't think he gets the keys right away. I just don't see it.
Yeah, unless he performs heavily in the preseason and stuff and the mini camps and all that. I'm with you. I think they got to go with they kind of got to go with what the Bears did with their quarterback last year and
Yeah,
Andy Dalton. They started Dalton, they worked Fields in. So we'll see. I mean, crazier things have happened. Pittsburgh, another team that got their guy, got a guy they can market around. Um, so there was a couple guys. Well, let's get to some of these trades because there was 9 first round trades.
absolutely crazy.
The Saints, the Saints dealt or no, they got the 11th pick, which they ended up taking Olvin, the receiver from Ohio State.
Right.
From the Commanders, who got the 16th pick, the 98th pick, and the 120th pick. So, and then the Lions, who surprisingly with Minnesota traded, they got the 12th pick, which they took Williamson, the receiver from Alabama, and they got the 40th pick. And the Vikings received the 32nd, the 34th, and the 66th pick. Let's talk about that trade because that's my team. Here everybody was shocked that we traded with the Lions, and then we ended up on day 2 trading with the Packers. So, with the new regime, we were kind of wondering what they're going to do. At first, Johnson was dropping the line, the defensive end, I think it was Jermaine Johnson, who's from Minnesota. So I started thinking, it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're going to move back up and get Johnson. Well, they stayed pat. Johnson went to the Jets, I believe. And then the Vikings ended up taking Lewis Kane, I think it is, safety from Georgia, who is a hard-hitting guy. That guy is, if he's not going to be a football player, he's going to be some kind of MFC guy or a wrestling guy. But
Yeah.
he's already come out and said he has to change his way of playing because he doesn't want to be fined every week and penalized all the time. So see how much his game changes. So I know you're not a Lions fan, but you grew up in Michigan. So what do you think? Trading within the division for that, how did that work out?
I always thought it was taboo to trade within your division and trading to your rival because you don't want to load them up for bear just so they can shoot you in the head. It benefits Detroit because it puts a receiver for Goff. It starts filling some of them holes. I think it's a good idea. I honestly didn't understand why Minnesota did it, but I think it was a good trade for Detroit.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a good trade for Detroit. So, keep moving on with some of the trades here. The Eagles received the 13th pick. The Texans got the 15th, the 124th, 162, and 166, which they ended up trading those last 3 picks away. So Texans were definitely wheeling and dealing. The Ravens got the 23rd pick from the Cardinals for Marquise Brown and the 100th pick. So let's talk about that trade since it involved a current player. So Cardinals gets a good receiver, gives up a 3rd-round pick. So what do you think of that trade there?
It benefits. Oh boy, I know it didn't make a lot of Ravens fans happy.
Yep.
To see a receiver like that go. it's weird is when you say that the Cardinals were the ones that benefited the most out of that,
Yep.
and my boy from Florida, there, Kyer Elam goes to Buffalo. I think the only person that loses out of that's Baltimore. Honestly,
Well, yeah, because the Ravens ended up trading that to Buffalo. I
yeah.
just noticed a side note there. So the Ravens, yeah, who knows what the Ravens are doing? So if that trade made the Ravens fans mad, well, how about the next one here? The Titans received the 18th pick and the 101st pick, and I know you're happy about this. The Eagles get AJ Brown, so let's talk about that one.
I think on the live stream, I think I said it. They trade AJ Brown, and what do they do if that pick? Turn around and pick a AJ Brown type receiver up. And the first thought I said
Yep,
is, why do you not want to have two AJ Brown type receivers?
yep, you did say that. So
That's great. And so you're telling me basically the only guy that's on that roster that has any type of experience, any type of high level experience, is Robert Woods, who's coming
yeah,
off an injury.
yep.
Give me
No,
that all day.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, the Titans, probably have one of the best running backs right now going. But yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want to have two AJ Browns. I mean, you have a stud receiver, you have a chance to get a younger version of that guy. Why wouldn't you want to do it? But
Mhm.
but there was some lock. We know in the offseason there was some locker room tension there. So Titans. I believe I've heard Drabel's not too happy with this move. So
If he wasn't, from what I
yeah,
saw, they showed a picture from the war room where the pick was going in and Vrabel's walking
in
away
the war
from the
room.
camera.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Vrabel's not happy.
Yeah. So we'll see what that develops there. The Chiefs, who had a couple first round picks, they traded one to move up the 21st pick with the Patriots. For the 29th, the 94th, and the 121st pick. So what gets me on this one, and it's mainly on the Patriot side, is they really, I believe, made a reach for that Cole Strange offensive guard from Chattanooga. I think they
Yeah,
could have got him in the late third, fourth round. So I think that's the biggest reach right there. Of course, Belichick could prove us all wrong. What do you think? I know some Patriot fans think they're calling it the steal of the draft, and to me, if you're going to get a steal of the draft, you're getting somebody later. You're not getting somebody that you could have gotten in the
yeah,
third round. That to me, that's
yeah.
not
You're,
a steal of the draft. But what do you think?
yeah, no. I they if there's a team that knows what a steal looks like, it's the New England Patriots. When you get Tom Brady so deep in the play in the draft, and that's
Yep.
the steal of the decade, century, and then you turn around and call a guy who's graded out on every draft board, obviously except for Bill Belichick's, in the third round at best.
Yeah.
It blew the minds. And I was watching on the NFL Network. It confused them on that NFL Network. Confused me completely.
Yep. Yeah, I remember watching. It kind of reminded me of when the Vikings took. It was it wasn't Ponder. It was either Joe Webb or Tavares Jackson. They turned over to Mel Kiper, who lives, eats, drinks the draft, and they asked him to break down the
Mhm.
quarterback, and he's like, I got nothing on this guy. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So again, Belichick can
yeah.
prove us wrong, but so then the Bills see the 23rd overall pick. I took a guy out of Florida there, the corner, and the Ravens received the
Mhm.
25th pick and the 130th pick. So tell us a little bit about what the Bills got in your Elam there at the corner.
You got a guy who's good at man coverage, which is really difficult to find. in the NFL because I think cornerbacks these days now are more along the lines suited for the zone defense. This kid's fast. He can keep up with anybody. He keeps up with Alabama receivers on a on a regular basis. He keeps up with Georgia receivers, Tennessee receivers, Florida State receivers. His kid runs. I want to say he ran a 4.40, somewhere in the near neighborhood of a 4.40. Um, he's quick. He's got hands. He makes you make mistakes, and he's huge. He's a Bills type cornerback. To be honest, he's perfect in Buffalo.
All right, yeah, that one, can't wait to see what Bills are doing. They're an up and coming team. Then the Jets, they trade back in the first round. They get the 26th pick from the Titans and the 101st pick, and the Titans receive the 35th pick, the 69th pick, and the 163rd pick. And this is where my guy Johnson the second went out of Florida State. I know that's a rival of your college team, but another guy that was predicted to go high dropped quite a bit. Here's where I thought the Vikings might have really shocked the world and made the deal to move up, but the Jets did it. And honestly, I think consensus all around the fandom is that the Jets won the first day of the draft. So what do you think on this move for the Jets, and where this places the Jets now?
This is a perfect move for the Jets. It really is. You got a team, your team, and I'm going to bring your team up because this is a team that's has the 32 and the 34. How do you not package the 32, the 34, and then go up to 26? At this point, it sounds like a guarantee because you're looking at this. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but you're looking at a guy who could have possibly top five in the draft, and he's just falling as if somebody had said something on Twitter. Next thing you know, he's just disappeared, and he's sitting in the green room. I think the Jets. I think this makes the Jets. They're not quite the best team in the AFC East, but they're definitely playing for number 2. I don't want to be playing New York. They've got it. Saleh was really smart. He drafted players that that knows will work in his system. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be fun to watch the Jets.
Yeah, if we're going to call a early, steal of the draft, especially just for the first round, this Jermaine Johnson could be that guy. And like you said, not to compare to Rodgers, but he was predicted to go high and he started falling. And I thought, when Minnesota got those two picks, I thought for sure they were going to bounce back in there. So then we got the Jags jumping back in the first round. They traded they got the 27th pick from the Buccaneers, who got the 31st pick, the 106th, and the 180th pick. And then the Jags drafted linebacker Devin Lloyd out of Utah. So, these teams that need a lot of pieces, like the Jets and the Jags, kind of making moves there.
Right.
And that was, I believe, the last trade of the first day.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, like we said, it looks like the Jets won the first day of the draft. I don't think. We really can't gauge the draft until probably year 2 or year 3. But so overall, I know your team did not have a first round pick. So let's get into the Colts there. What did they end up doing in the draft?
We end up taking. We took a wide. I want to remember we took a wide receiver.
You guys had quite a few picks after the first round. Okay.
Right. We took the wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Okay. Alec Pierce. We needed the wide receivers.
Yep.
We were like Green Bay. We were like Green Bay Southeast because we needed receivers, and
No, the Bears need the receivers too. So
yeah, we've granted we've got Pittman, we've got other receivers, but we just don't have the bodies. Then we picked the tight end.
yeah.
And yeah, we picked up receivers and we picked up a couple. We picked up an O lineman to replace Eric Fisher. But
Yep. Yeah, so looking at what the Colts, according to ESPN, they needed a wide receiver, offensive tackle, tight end, inside linebacker, corner. They fulfilled 3 of those 5 picks.
yep.
Like Chris Woods, Raymond, Cross were your first 3 rounds.
Yep.
And then after that, you got Johnson from Missouri State, Ogletree from Youngstown. You got Brooks from Cincinnati. You got Thomas the second from Yale. So, overall, what draft right now for your team? I mean, what would you say?
We filled holes.
Yeah.
I think it's a B. I think it's a B. Truthfully, we didn't come out. We didn't do what I hoped we would have done and taken a quarterback of the future, especially with and I don't know if we're going to bring him up, but Sam Howell dropping from North Carolina, dropping out so far down, and I'm thinking every time I'm looking at an Indianapolis pick, there's Sam Howell just going there and he's just flying by us like we're on the interstate.
No, there's definitely a couple teams couple names are gonna bring up that fell hard. So for me, for Minnesota, after day 1, I was asked, by our colleagues to, what I thought of and I gave it an incomplete, just because the trade with the Lions, not that they really traded, but what traded with the Lions kind of, and then they got the Lewis Kane, the Georgia safety, which hard hitting guy, and I kind of wanted to see what else happened, and then day 2 started, Vikings traded out. I thought they were going to go after a quarterback there, or even a linebacker, which we're up here shortly. And they went with Booth, corner, so they got that. Ingram, offensive lineman, and then they took Amusha, inside linebacker, in the 3rd round. And then they filled some holes. A lot of defensive players. They took a running back, Chandler from North Carolina. They did bring in the defensive end from Minnesota. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. But overall, I'm going to, they filled all the holes that ESPN said we needed to do. So I'm going to go with the C with them right now, because you look at the draft, they did not pick any picks from their original spot. They traded everything. They got trades all over the board here. So they traded every single pick that they picked was from a different spot that wasn't theirs. So talk about some wheeling and dealing. That's them. So, and then looking within the division, I looking at the Packers here. They got some receivers. The Bears, they were filling holes left and right. The Lions, I think they're really good with Hutchinson. So, the division itself, I would grade it out as probably a B all around.
Right.
with the Lions probably actually winning. What about your division? What do you think? How the division did in general?
I think Houston and Jacksonville filled holes that they needed. But then again, they had more holes than spots filled.
Yep.
I think Houston proved that they're out there to try to do what they can to make Davis Mills feel a little more comfortable, really start building that offense around him. Jacksonville I'm not saying I'm not going to pull the Jacksonville is going to win the division going to the wild card game, whatever, out of anything at this second. Did the AFC South get a lot tougher? Yeah, I also think that what also showed with the Tennessee Titans is they're not really sure on Ryan Tannehill.
Yep.
You you draft a quarterback like Malik Willis, who is again somebody that could have been drafted in the first round, and you get him in the third round. Yeah, I understand you get the
Yep.
best player on the board at that point, but when you're looking at a guy with the intangibles of the Liberty quarterback, yeah, you kind of say that you're really not comfortable with your quarterback, and basically, and you give away AJ Brown.
Yeah.
You, that was the biggest head scratcher between Strange getting drafted by Cole Strange getting drafted by New England and the Titans trading away AJ Brown basically for an AJ Brown. Those are the two biggest head scratchers in the whole draft, and I think the AFC South could easily. It's going to be a dogfight.
Oh yeah.
It's scary to look
No,
at.
no doubt. So looking at you kind of brought him up. So let's bring out some of the guys that dropped and dropped hard. I mean, first let's talk. You brought up Malik Willis, so let's talk about him. Uh, he was another one that was projected to go high and very high, possibly first, second overall, and then he started falling, and he ended up going in the third round to the Titans, like you just mentioned. So, and then the other one was the other big drop. And this is where what got me going with Minnesota is that where's he at now? It was Dean. Yeah, N'Kobe Dean of Georgia, third round, 19th pick, and he was
Right.
the top rated inside linebacker, and he was overall ranked was 19. So he dropped pretty much 3 rounds from where he was initially supposed to go. So what do you think on those guys dropping? I mean, have you heard anything? I know somebody brought up the Wonderlic test. That's why they
That
dropped.
I don't. Those things, especially like you know when they come in for the interview, are they a bad interview? Are they a bad job interview, or do they not? Can they read a playbook? Can they do?
Yep.
Who knows? At this point, yeah, when you put them on the field, it's a whole different. They're basically their instincts, their intuitions kick in. They know the play in general, but I don't know. There's so many question marks, and it threw me for a loop when Jermaine Johnson dropped like a stone, and then when, like you had said, that that Minnesota was looking dead in the eyes at the quarterback they could be looking at of the future with
Yep.
Malik Willis, and because he was like you said 1-5 at Carolina, he could have gone anywhere, and next thing I know, how how Green Bay is with quarterbacks. I thought Green Bay was taking him. I'm at that point, and then he just flies, and I'm like, what did he do?
Yep.
Howell's another one. Howell was expected to be the preseason. He was expected
Yep.
to be the number one quarterback taken this year,
Yep.
and basically had a trash team around him at North Carolina, and
Yep.
it shouldn't make a difference. But he drops all the way to what, fourth, fifth?
Yeah, he was the fifth ranked quarterback. He was the fifth ranked overall, and then he ended up dropping to the first pick in the fifth round to Washington.
Yeah,
So yeah, that I mean, there's a lot of players that were falling, and I mean, you brought it up earlier too. I mean, we said this draft was a um uh unreal draft because you had one quarterback go in the first round. You had no running backs go in the first round. The first running back taken was in the second round, the fourth pick that was hauled to the Jets. So and then they took 3 running backs. The second running back was Walker, the third to Seattle, and then James Cook was towards the end of the second round. So um, let's Cook being his brother's Delvin Cook. I'm almost positive
yeah.
on
I'm
that.
thinking.
So yeah. So I can't wait to see. You brought up Buffalo before. Buffalo's gonna be Buffalo and the Jets might be baseball's version or football's version of like the Dodgers and the Giants, Dodgers and the Padres. Just gonna beat up on each other for 2 games
Right.
apiece. So and a lot of people are this to the way the NBA is going now. Taking a lot of these guys, these instead of taking needs, they're taking like the showboat guys or the prime, the playmakers. Um, so overall, let's see what else we got here. So yeah, so let's talk about Mr. Irrelevant. Let's talk about the guy that guy's name called, but last pick of the draft was a quarterback. I know that.
Yeah, out of
My phone.
well, I can't remember his name now.
So Mr. Irrelevant was
Iowa State's Brock Purdy.
yeah, Purdy.
I'm gonna make it right now. I'm gonna do it right now, and I'm gonna pull my Isaiah lock of the week.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Isaiah. I say Iowa State's Brock Purdy will make the team, and he will be starting by week 6.
Oh, wow. Well, and the funny thing is he went to San Fran. They don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I mean,
No, exactly.
Yeah. So Purdy, and for in that case, then Purdy's going to be the rookie of the year because he was pretty much an undrafted guy. I mean, granted, he was drafted, so he should be rookie of the year.
Right.
Here, right there, if he makes one start. So
exactly.
But so let's talk about about the 2 players. Well, yeah, I think there's 2 players, maybe 3, that were projected to be moved from their current teams on and did not get moved. And I'm talking about Jimmy G. I'm talking about Debo Samuel, and I know there's a third guy out there that is just blanking right now on who wanted to get
don't
moved.
worry. He's okay. He'll be fine.
So
Baker will be okay.
Baker Mayfield, yes. Yes. So why do we think those 3 did not get moved?
Well, my understanding, and this is from what I've read, that the Jets didn't trade for Baker is the same reason why Carolina didn't trade for Baker was because they were stuck on a guaranteed contract, on a guaranteed money on the contract.
Okay.
They couldn't figure out the guaranteed money on the contract, so they figured it wasn't a big enough headache. And by the time they got to the picks that they were going to use, they blew past him. And they figured it'd be cheaper to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Jimmy G, I think Jimmy, they're waiting and seeing on Jimmy G. They're waiting to see how his rehab's coming because that injury really messed him up. I think Jimmy G will be moved. I think teams are waiting for Jimmy G to be cut. I think teams are waiting for Baker to be cut. I think they're just waiting because I'm not sure if there's roster bonuses coming up soon. Like I know there's some players that have roster bonuses come up in June. But if they do, expect them to be gone by then. I think Baker's was in March, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe they were Debo threw me for a loop because I thought that the Jets could have packaged the number 10 pick to San Francisco and gave them the 10.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have been and would have made the Jets an even bigger winner on day one. I just think there has to be something going on. Maybe Debo didn't want to play in New York. With the Jets, I don't know. But it didn't matter because the Jets understood the assignment as it says.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with you on the Mayfield one being guaranteed money probably issue, or again, people are waiting. The teams are waiting for him to get cut. I mean, there's not many jobs right now, for Mayfield or Jimmy G. And Jimmy G, I get the injury, so yeah, you're probably right there that they're gonna wait for him to get cut or get better report on his rehab. Debo, that one, you're the focal point of the off almost, and you don't want to be that. I mean that's what don't get that that's what gets me kind of puzzled because it's like, dude, you're in the NFL, you're living out your dream. The Niners are using you as a slash prime time type player where you can throw the ball, you can run the ball, you can catch the ball. The only thing he hasn't done is play defense, and he doesn't want to do that supposedly. That's why he wants out of San Fran. And
Right.
you know, other teams don't see you as just a receiver. It's going to be hard to get moved. Especially if you don't want to play that position. So, if I could sit down with Samuel and just talk to him and be like, dude, you're the focal point of the team. I mean, they're game planning for you to be in 3 different positions.
Right.
I would just stick it with it. Live it out.
Exactly.
And I mean, yeah, you're not built to take the hits like a typical running back would, but man, I say, and it's easy for me to say because I'm sitting here at my house and he's, in the NFL, but as a fan, I like seeing that, a player that can play 3 different positions. That gives you like 3 different weapons. I mean, what do you think?
I think he's looking for longevity. He wants to be in he wants to be in the league long term.
Yep.
But if you can put up numbers that are Marshall Falk type numbers or Roger Craig type numbers where you're rushing for 1,000, receiving for 1,000. Oh, believe me, you're the only the 3rd or 4th person to ever do it. Oh, please sign me up, and I can do that every year, dude. You're walking into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
they're begging you to come in.
Yep. And granted, yeah, longevity is going to take, and the health is definitely going to take a toll. But yeah, I mean, we don't see this many type of players. I mean, we're talking about it in baseball. Ohtani, he can pitch and play the outfield and hit. Right there, like you said, Tim. If he stays healthy, he's going to get the Hall of Fame for doing that. So with that being said, we got a few more minutes here, Tim. So right now, mini camps are going to start and everything's going to start going. Oh, before we get there, the Bears have released Super Bowl MVP quarterback Nick Foles. So, do we see Foles? Foles is going to sign somewhere. I mean,
Foles because he got released. I see Foles going to Seattle. Yeah. He's going to Seattle.
There you go. That and honestly, with their luck and lock and all that, that might not be a bad place for him. So right now, Tim, of the teams that did not make the playoffs last year, which team do you think got better?
God, my team's in that group. Yours teams, my team are both in that group. The teams that didn't make the playoffs.
Barely. Yeah.
Can I pick one from each division, each conference?
Go ahead. Pick who do you think got better?
I think did Philly make the playoffs last year? I can't remember.
No, Phillies did make the playoffs. Yes,
they did. Well, that takes that answer out. Detroit, honestly, Detroit.
Okay.
And if I don't say the Jets, I'm getting hit in the mouth. Those 2 teams by themselves, granted they had the 1-2 pick, but they knew what to do with them.
Yep.
They understood. They understood what to do with the picks, how to get more picks, how to move up in the picks. They did exactly what Philadelphia is supposed to. What Philadelphia did, they understood. I've got this many picks, and I know how to use them. and it's like the GMs learned how to use them, and they it was brilliant. I thought those three teams by themselves did a brilliant job drafting.
Yeah, I can disagree with the Jags getting a little bit better, Detroit getting a lot better. I mean the Jets too. The Jets I think got really better. Um, do I see any one of these three teams making the playoffs? If the Jets were in a different division, I could probably pick the Jets to make a move. The Jags, I still think are a ways. The NFC North, a lot of surprises can happen. I mean, it's the Packers' division to lose. Don't get me wrong, but the Lions have been the Lions for years, and I just don't see them making the run. So, like I said, if the Jets were in a different division, I can see them making. I can see them making a serious run for the playoffs. I think they're going to play hard. Just looking at other teams that didn't make the playoffs, I granted every team probably got better. Their fan bases think it's their. Matter of fact, I remember I was watching the draft and the Hutchinson pick got. They showed the Lions fans and they're hooting and hollering and this is our year, the roar restored and all this, and that's what draft day is about. It's about every fan thinking that it hasn't been Dallas's year since '95. I can say that because Chris ain't here. So
yeah,
but they think it's their year every year. So with that being said, Tim, unless you got something else that we haven't covered, I'm just kind of looking around here, news wise. Yeah, I don't see anything else. The Steelers picked up Hayward's brother Conrad on third day.
That officially gives that, from my understanding, that officially gives them 4 sets of brothers on the team at the same time.
Oh, really? Okay, that's something
Yeah.
we'll have to look into. Well, I knew they had the White brothers.
Yeah, the 2 Watts. They got two. Now they got 2 Haywards. They've got. They have 2 others too, and I was I saw it on Facebook where they showed the post of it on Facebook, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's something to be able to play with your brother. I mean, I know you and your brother were close. I mean, what would it be like? I mean, I think it would be almost a dream. That's why I still couldn't believe Wyatt went to Watts went to Arizona instead of going to Pittsburgh when he signed. I thought for sure he would have went to.
When he signed with Arizona, when he left Houston, I thought he was either going to Green Bay or Pittsburgh. I didn't see Arizona coming up at all.
Yeah. No, nobody thought that. Everybody thought it was he was going back to Wisconsin, which ironically, I don't know if you know that, you probably followed him, but his first initial signing was to Minnesota, and then he backed out.
Really?
Yep.
I know he ended up his first snap in college was at Central Michigan.
Yep. Yeah, and then he was
as a tight end.
Yep. Yeah, then he was going to play for Minnesota when I forgot the coach there. The coach got fired, and that's why he backed out. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so here it is. So by selecting Hayward in the 6th round, that adds 4th pair of brothers on the roster. They got Connor and Cam joining TJ and Derek, Terrell and Trey Edmonds, and Charles and Khalil Davis. So
okay,
talk about some brotherly love in Pittsburgh. I mean,
I guess, bro. I thought that was Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, that's in Pittsburgh now.
We
better not steal that from Philadelphia because they might start coming after us. All Philly fans
did you see that on day one that it was the first time in the modern draft era that the Green Bay when the Green Bay Packers selected their second Georgia player, that was the first time since 57 that two players from the same defense went in the same round in the same year.
Yeah, well, Georgia set another record too by having 15 guys drafted in all 7 rounds. So, you know, get. I mean, we all hate Georgia, but you got to respect them. I mean, they got the talent there. But again, their third string players can start probably on any other college team, so that's not saying too much. So
yeah,
but so I'm draft over with. Now it's time to finalize free agents here. Mini camps are starting. Workouts, all that fun stuff. So with that being said, Tim, you got any final thoughts here?
Well, I'll say I'm looking forward to May 4th when we find out the teams, the places for the international games, and then May 12th, birthday to my brother and my mom. So besides celebrating their birthday, we get to see where, when, where, and who we're playing.
Yeah, exactly. So May 12th, definitely looking forward to that. Happy birthday to Mama Hendricks and Brother Hendricks. Definitely miss you guys. With that being said, keep checking out Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Tonight we got Between the Ropes. We'll break down Raw and SmackDown, possibly have some other topics. Tuesday we'll have On Deck. Tuesday Night Mania. We got the boys. No, I missed another show there. Sportsman on Wednesdays. Just keep checking us out. We're always adding content. You guys have ideas? Send them to us. Topics, stuff we want to cover. Saturday, if you haven't noticed, during the home, we will be carrying a live stream for Oregon women's football. We've done that the last 2 weeks. We've also had a partnership with OVW Wrestling out of Ohio to carry their matches on Thursdays. So keep checking us out. So with that being said, I'm Big B. That's Tim Hendricks. We'll check you next time. Not sure, but we'll check you next time on Morning Tailgate. Have a good one.